You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey here with latest NFL news and rumors to break down. We're going to begin with the news of the day. The Eagles have once again made a pre-draft trade, this time for 2022 with the New Orleans Saints. The Eagles and the Saints made this incredibly complicated, convoluted trade involving 7 different draft picks. The Eagles get a first this year, a first next year, a third this year, and a 7th this year, plus a second in 2024. The Saints get 2 first-round picks this year, 16-19, after giving up 18, and a 6th-round pick this year. We can kind of even out the firsts and the 7th to an extent. So from a rough, kind of breaking it down, making it easier to digest, the Saints are getting an extra mid-round first this year for a third this year, a late third, a first next year, and a 2024 second. That's basic what this trade is boiled down to with some odd loose ends. So who do you think won this trade? S for the Saints, E for the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles kind of getting future draft capital in case Hurts isn't their guy at QB. Saints, wonder if they're done dealing quite yet since now they got 2 first-round picks, 2 big needs at QB and at offensive tackle. Now, speaking of QB, could Malik Willis go number 2 overall? I'll say this, I would be shocked and confused a little bit. Maybe not shocked, but surprised and confused. Bruce Feldman says there's buzz Lions could take Willis. I've heard that too. That buzz exists out there. It's not made up for the Athletics clicks. Willis is a massive boom or bust prospect. The upside is this guy could be a top 15, top 10 QB. His arm is awesome. He's a dynamic dual threat QB. He offers the upside teams covet. And in this year's class, he is my number 1 QB. He also, despite the numbers being okay this past year at Liberty, he was bad down the stretch this year. When you're supposed to launch your stock moving forward, he was bad the final 4 games of the year, and that just is kind of ignored in this particular draft class. Now, Willis is starting to take visits. The Giants at 5 and 7, the Panthers at 6, the Falcons at 8, the Saints now with 2 first-round picks, the Steelers and the Titans, by the way, which I find quite interesting on that standpoint. What makes things interesting is the Lions not on that list. They're not there. Now, this was the reported one by Adam Schefter, so maybe it could still happen. Maybe the Lions trying to disguise their interest, but I doubt anyone moves up to 1 to get him. But if you do want to take him, you only want to know. So, who do you think ends up taking Malik Willis? He will go round 1. Will it be top 5, top 10, top 15, top 20? I'm actually not so sure. So I'm going to make this question the pinned comments on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and shoot your shot. Who will take Malik Willis in this year's NFL Draft? Let's talk A.J. Brown and also some DK Metcalf. The trade rumors around both guys are swirling. Both GMs, John Robinson for the Titans and John Snyder for Seattle, say, no, we're not going to trade away A.J. Brown or DK Metcalf. And now Brown, along with DK, have spoken out about the rumors. A.J. Brown said, tired of all this, just like y'all. That was in direct reference to, I would assume, the trade rumors. Maybe he's talking about Chris Rock, Will Smith. Maybe, but it kind of feels like trade rumors on this front. DK Metcalf then today, quote, tweeted an account that said, hey, teams are calling Seattle about trading for DK Metcalf. And Metcalf says, haven't heard anything, per DK Metcalf himself. Now, if you'd asked me, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, hey, could Seattle trade DK? Could the Titans trade you? I'd said you're crazy. Then again, that's all this offseason has been. Russell Wilson. Seattle, we're not going to trade him. Well, they traded him to Denver. Carson Wentz, nobody wants him. Commanders say we do. Deshaun Watson, I'm not going to Cleveland. Just kidding, now I am. Because money. Devontae Adams, gets tagged by the Packers. He's going to stick around. They'll pay him, right? Wrong. To Vegas, and the biggest shocker of all, Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins. Now, I believe that both teams would be dumb to trade away their respective young superstar wide receiver. The Seahawks would then have Tyler Lockett and D. Eskridge. The Titans would then have Robert Woods and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. The pick you would get would then immediately go to a new wide receiver. In general, I don't like doing that type of move. So, the flip side is there's real sticker shock within the NFL over the deals and costs for trades of Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. That is where things are interesting. That is where things get chaotic, where these guys are going to want 25 to 30 plus million a year, and somebody out there will give it to them. And if you want to play the waiting game, well, it only gets more expensive the longer you wait to pay a player. So you can see how things get a little bit dicey. Right now, maybe, should be done, maybe those guys do get dealt. So who's more likely to be traded? Type AJ for AJ Brown or DK for DK Metcalf. Let me know in the comments which player, you got to pick one, no cowards allowed, you think would be a little bit more likely to get dealt. You guys can now watch NFL Daily on Rumble. We are also available on that platform. Go follow us, rumble.com/NFL Daily. Of all the channels here at Chat Sports, we are still up over the Raiders, although the Chiefs beginning to make some ground up on us. The Browns also with 1,000. I don't trust that tricky Mitchell Renz. He's shifty, and I don't trust him at all times. So let's make sure the Raiders don't catch us. Plus, we're posting our videos up there as well. And, oh, by the way, exclusive segments like a DK Metcalf trade video that will be up on Rumble first. Rumble.com/NFL Daily. Let's talk N'Keal Harry, the pride and joy of producer Jack Lotteray, because he's a Patriots fan and an Arizona State fan. This was his dream, and the result was Devontae Parker trade per ESPN means Harry's time in New England is likely over, which I agree with. And the Patriots would love to find a trade partner. And being a former first-round pick, that means there could be a team that makes an offer. But if I blocked out the name or where they were drafted and I said, hey, what would you trade for this production? You would say, what are you giving me? How much am I signing him? Is this is this like your fifth receiver? This production, in the words of a former former college QB, is ass, my dude. It's terrible. 598 yards, 4 catches on 57 receptions. You would hope, worst case scenario, that was his first year production. So it's his career through 3 years. I know first round hype is attached to it. I get that. That helps the value. Why would I trade for N'Keal Harry? He sucks. I'm sorry. He's bad. He's bad. Now, maybe a new team changes that, but I kind of don't think so. Like, teams with the same organizational people in charge who don't want to give up on first-round picks, unless they suck. The Patriots, meanwhile, now have Devontae Parker, Nelson Agholor, Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne. I put Bourne behind Agholor and Parker behind Harry because they're a little bit similar players. Like, it's rough. It's rough, man. It's just not good. So I want honest answers here in the live chat. Does anyone want N'Keal Harry? Y for yes or N for no? Is there a team, maybe it's your team out there, that you think would go out and acquire N'Keal Harry? Let me know. Y for yes or N for no. Now, if you want more NFL news, rumors, and, of course, draft and trade analysis, hit that big red button and subscribe. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Don't miss out on the awesome coverage we have for you guys here at Chat Sports. All right, time for the rant of the day. Colin Kaepernick. He's getting another chance, right? We'll break down the Kaepernick news, then his quote, which I got thoughts on. Kaepernick is still trying to get back in the NFL. As a reminder, Kaepernick got screwed. There is no doubt about it. There was collusion by the NFL. That's why they settled. He should have been around the NFL after 2016. It's a bit of a joke that he was not. Now, Kaepernick threw at the Michigan spring game. And, fine, whatever. The Seahawks are the main team linked to Kaepernick. The report from ESPN was that teams are concerned that rust's a factor. Duh. Of course rust's a factor. He hasn't played in 5 years. Here's what Kaepernick said at the Michigan spring game with his old coach Jim Harbaugh. Quote, I can help make you a better team. I can help you win games. That might have been the only part of the quote you saw. Here's the other part. I know right now the situation likely won't allow me to come in and step into a starting role. I know I'll be able to work my way to that, though, and show that very quickly. Colin, are you serious? Absolutely not is that going to happen. I am sorry that the NFL screwed Colin Kaepernick. It is 2022. Kaepernick is not an NFL starter anymore. He is turning 35 years old this year. Someone wants to tell me, well, Tom Brady. Yeah, Cap ain't Tom Brady. Come on, guys. He hasn't played in the NFL since 2016. The fact that he still thinks he's going to be a starter is absolute delusion. And I get like, oh, you want to be confident in your abilities. Cool. I get that. Man, you got to face the reality here, dude, that you're a backup at best if you're lucky in the NFL. And the people, the big media who keep hyping up Kaepernick as he should deserve a chance to start, get out of here. Move on. Find a new slant. Kaepernick got screwed. It's time to move on. You want to bring him in as a low-cost vet tryout a la Tim Tebow? Cool. Whatever. That's fine. The idea that he's going to earn a starting role, which he apparently still believes, is insane. It's not what he is anymore. You don't sign a guy off the street who hasn't played in 5 years ago. He might be our starter. Come on. It's a joke. Think he'd be a backup? Okay. Maybe. But this idea that he's a locked and loaded backup is pretty crazy because had Kaepernick been playing this entire time, he might have been out of the NFL by this point. Because remember, run-first QBs don't normally make it to age 35. So be honest with me. What is the percent chance a team signs Colin Kaepernick? 2017, 2018, he unquestionably should have been in the NFL, and you're crazy if you think otherwise. Right now, that's a long time, and we know how ageist the NFL is. So let me know in the comments section. Let's talk Dan Snyder, who actually sucks a lot, by the way. The controversy around Dan Snyder continues as now Congress is investigating whether the Commanders withheld ticket revenue from the league pool. Because remember how things work in the NFL. Doing wildly horrible things with your cheerleaders, kind of allegedly, but also like it happened. Having poop rain down on your fans and your stadium breaking down and everything else doesn't matter that much. But damn, if you withhold the money from the other NFL owners, you might be out. Allegedly, an employee of 24 years testified about the financials. The Commanders have said that guy committed perjury. Which is, just attacking the guy like that's kind of crazy from a legal perspective. But hey, whatever. It's a mess for Washington as they continue to be a not good news story around the NFL. Maybe this is the thing that forces Dan Snyder out because he's not good at all.